morning, Justice. Happy Hump Day.
Good morning, Six.
How you doing
Sorry?
today? I said Happy Hump
How
Day.
am we keep talking over each other. This is one of the follies of using this kind of technology, is that the slight delay makes it impossible for normal
Shut
conversation.
up. Yeah, I know. Hey, it's garbage day here, and Happy Hump Day.
Absolutely. How was Taco Tuesday?
Taco Tuesday was okay. Um, yeah, it was all right. Except, actually, it's a pretty hard thing to get taco shells. You go and you buy this freaking box of taco shells. Can't squeeze them. I mean, you can't squeeze a taco shell box to see if it's good. Got it home and they were stale. So
Oh.
I kind of had more of a bowl of chips. I mean, it was basically some sort of nacho-y thing. So this morning is Wednesday, and we hopefully will be joined by some of our kittens and and David Creed. We'll explain a whole bunch of this story when we get into it. But since we invited David on the show, it was really good that we try and get an old band or a video of his that he wanted shown. So this is throwing it a little bit farther back to, I believe, the now defunct Grand Maris and an older band of his. So enjoy our little musical interlude, and we will be back with Dave Creed in a moment.
There's no place to stay, no wake. So don't complain, have it ways. The hour's getting late, it's underway. The soldier waits for something, maybe a pile of nothing. Coming out of your mouth makes me nervous, makes me nauseous. Makes this whole thing just seem away. Taste on the lips is strong, in pace. Won't be waiting long, have it ways. The hour's getting late, it's underway. There's room around is something, maybe a pile of nothing. Coming
That was a great song.
Yes, it was. Thank you, David. And welcome to the show. How are you doing this morning?
Bonjour. Well, you can see I'm wearing sunglasses, so it is the morning.
I just thought it was the sun shining off half of my face, and that's why you needed those glasses.
I dig it because it kind of like brings in the design on the t-shirt and the design behind you. It sort of really solidifies the whole theme.
That's like
blending in.
Yeah.
I like to be. It's like a triptych. It's like a triptych here.
It's either that or you're just like,
No.
the future's so bright you've got to wear shades. Is that how you're feeling today?
Yes, because today is all about positivity.
Yeah, is it? Yeah. So how have you been during all of this? How have you been holding up?
I've been having a blast. I don't know how else to live. So I've been having a lot of fun. At first, of course, everybody had a struggling time, and it was like, what do you want to succumb to? So I decided just to stay bright and have a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
and entertain. I love entertaining people. So
Entertaining you did. You kind of started up a COVID cooking show, which, you know, was usually topless. Cooking with Creed.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? Is this something that you did before? Was it just kind of an off the cuff thing?
Well, you know what? When was it? Back in December, I decided I'm going to try to be vegan for 1 month just to see what happens. And I started cutting dairy out of my diet and meat and a number of other things just to see what would happen. And I would just film it, and people started messaging me how much they enjoyed it. And then it allowed me to start becoming more ridiculous and drink dirty boxed wine. I drank a lot of wine, man. I mean, COVID was a great time to learn how to drink.
Have you perfected that? Yeah.
Yeah, and it really allowed me to hone in on my skills, but it also allowed me to learn how to cook. And I'm up to about 50 episodes. I haven't been able to make any lately because I'm very busy, but I mean, that's 50 different meals I learned to cook. But also at the same time, I'm glad I filmed them because I would say for 70% of them I was so drunk I don't remember them. So thank God I have them to look back at. So it's also a good memoir of my abilities. But yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that. But I had people from all over the world writing me how much they enjoyed it. So that just kind of inspired me too. But to know that I was making people's day for at least, you know, a good 15, 20 minutes, that made my day. So.
Absolutely. Do you have a scale for your recipes? Like what the most enjoyable one to make and the one that caused you the most chaos?
Oh my God. No, the worst thing is when the most chaos was when I drank tequila. And well, I know it sounds bad, and then I would try to introduce a different character because I also play this guy once in a while called Positive Guy. So I tried to bring Positive Guy into my cooking show. So that just became berserk because I'm filming in time. I'm not editing it. So I had to like put my wig on, put my stuff on, rip it off, play both characters back and forth. And it was berserk. Cooking, baking's always a problem. I'm sure you've experienced baking excitement.
Baking is a little bit harder.
I think, you know what the worst thing I did? It was the worst. I used gluten-free flour to make cinnamon rolls, and I was putting yeast in there, and it wasn't reacting, and it was making me bonkers, and all I had was this yeasty stink blowing through my whole place. And what do you do when you get frustrated? Drink more. So it just fed the problem worse. So yes, baking's always a problem when cooking live. So.
On the note of Positivity Guy, you
can't go wrong.
You do a little bit of traveling around, and I've seen you like in LA with Positivity Guy.
Yeah, Positive Guy doesn't lose, man.
What's the reaction though when you're kind of out in public? I mean, you yourself and your own personality on your feeds is one thing, but then Positive Guy is a whole other. What's the reaction like with the people around you when you pull out the wig and you do Positive Guy in the middle of, like, you know, essentially in the middle of your day or in the middle of LA, in the middle of, well, really anything?
people typically the response, they go berserk. Because I don't look the same. I look like it's already creepy enough I'm putting a wig on, and the wig's perfect because I stole the wig from my mom, who bought a wig, very expensive, because she thought her hair was going thin. But it wasn't, and she put this wig on, and I looked at her, I was like, that is so shit. You got to get rid of that. So I stole it from her, and then I put glasses on, and but anyways, I love the fact that I stole it from my mother. But yeah, man, I think anytime you change yourself, you put a hat on, you change your identity a little bit, people just it throws them off. So it was always throwing people off, but I would only do it for a moment and then go back to normal. But I think it allowed people to just get a little, again, we're back to a little bit of entertainment. That's what it was all about for me. I love entertaining. So whatever I could bring to the table, and if it was stealing my mom's wig, and that was good enough for me.
So she now doesn't wear a wig, you wear a wig, you have a whole personality built around it. And
she didn't need a wig. It was the worst color. I should go get the thing after. Do we take commercial breaks here?
We already did.
We already did, but I honestly think the viewers would love it. But
maybe I will.
Maybe you will. So you haven't been able to do the cooking show because you've been raising some barn cats. Do you want to?
Oh my God!
Do you want to explain what's been going on with that?
You're a part of this project. You mentioned about.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to find
things that were the things that were affected positively, the positive effect, or things that have been very positive in my life. Well, I'll tell you, on April 25th, I heard a little squeaky noise come from the back barn that I have on the property I'm at, and I said, no, there's no way. There's no way there's a kitten in here. And I checked, and it was jammed underneath of a stairwell. There was a mother cat and 6 kittens. And then probably 3 weeks into it, the mother abandoned the kittens, wouldn't feed them anymore. And one night they came out running after me, hungry. So I can't just leave them. So I ended up running to the vet, getting the KMR solution.
Yeah.
Brought them in the barn, put them on a heating pad because it was still cold out, and then it just started from there. And then I couldn't get the mother to come back. The mother escaped. Next thing I know, I'm bottle feeding 6 kittens, and I've got so much going on. I'm stressed, but I got to tell you, that was one of the most beautiful things to experience during that time. Was just helping raise something. It was just so innocent, and they had a lot of. I'm just trying to get mine to come over here, but he's just scratching and eating everything. But I had 6 kittens, and I didn't know what to do with them. But again, the reach out was incredible. You guys reached out and asked for 2 kittens. I had more people ask me for kittens than I had kittens. So
yeah,
I had people from Toronto asking me for kittens. So
well, they're going to come down for COVID kittens. Holy
man!
crap!
What's that?
I said they would have drove down for COVID kittens, hey?
Yeah, I've had people drive to my house to pick up kittens. So, I raised some sweet kittens. I don't know how far what I can say on this show, but but it's been fun, man. And I'm glad you got 2. You got the only girl, and my legs have finally healed too. By the way, I had 400 holes per leg. It was bad. It was my legs. It just looked like somebody ripped all the hairs out of my legs. That's how bad it looked.
Yeah, because they were climbing you.
Yeah, they were.
They were climbing me. I was dad, right? And mom, they would bite my nipples. They would do everything they could just to give me love.
This is a slight offshoot, but semi-related. I knew a guy. I went to camp with a guy once who, as his bit, would let a crayfish pinch his nips. That's what he liked to do. So it's there's a precedent for it.
He liked it though, eh?
He liked
I don't know if he liked it or if he just liked the attention that he got because he did it.
An entertainer.
Another performer.
Oh yeah. So speaking of that was another thing that happened, because usually during my cooking show I just rip my shirt off because it was another thing that was asked of my people.
Yeah.
And I decided to do one of my cooking shows with the kittens, and I took my shirts off, and it was the same thing. It was just like they see a dark spot and they bite it, man. So it just became an issue. This one still does too, Rufus. I kept one, and his name's Rufus, by the way.
Yeah, you kept a pretty damn cute one. And honestly, there's a few things we want to talk about Rufus just a little bit. But number one, I found out that raising kittens. Let's see if I can get mine. My one is chill. So, Justice, you got this for a second.
Yeah, we can talk about pets. I was acknowledging earlier that like dogs are much more dead weight than cats. Like, look how floppy your cat is.
Yeah, well, this thing's wonderful. I mean, look at that dog.
No, Rose doesn't flop around like that. No, she's very sturdy.
Look at this.
This is there's one.
Which one is that?
Girl?
No. This is our boy. This is Turkey Sandwich.
Oh yeah, Turkey Sandwich. Best names ever.
Turkey Sandwich and Sesame Seed, but the girls just call it Sesame. And he gets sometimes he just gets turkey. But
well, now we've become a pet show now.
Yeah.
So
pet power.
Welcome Rufus, the chair.
Man, they're cute as all hell, though. I mean, honestly, it's been. So I found out two things about the cats and the kittens before we get like crazy just onto this cuteness thing. I was trying to fold clothes the other day, and the clothes, because I'll do like tuck underneath my chin and kind of fold pants up. That apparently was a game, and my legs are all scratched up because I became the tree to climb to get to those clothes. That sucked, and the other thing we found out that's totally messed up, and we didn't even. Like, I've never made this connection in my life, but my wife was having a little bit of like back and neck problems, so I have Icy Hot. So I sprayed some Icy Hot or BioFreeze on, and I kind of give her a massage in, and I just kind of, my hands, I grabbed a towel and I just kind of wiped. And the other kitten, Sesame Seed, the girl was just all over this towel. And then as soon as she smelled my hand, was like on my hand and like wrapping her claws around. So we had to do a search. And menthol. Any menthol kind of stuff is so much akin to catnip that they go nuts for it.
Catnip, got some right here.
Catnip. Well, there you go. So I found that out. So, if you're sore after a workout and you pull out your menthol, you're screwed, Creed. You're going to be nothing but scratches all over.
No, maybe you can convince them to start kneading, right? That's a massage. Kind of the same thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, you could just rub it on her back and throw the kitten on her. Good to go. Funny thing about catnip. A friend of mine offered me a bunch, and I said, I'm good, I've got some. And they said, why do you have catnip? You don't have any cats. I said, my wife planted it, and all summer long she was using it in her mimosas. And she gave it to her friends, and her friends were like,
it's not mint.
This is catnip, not mint. So she'd been making catnip mimosas or whatever it is. Also, I thought it was the best thing I'd ever heard. So,
did you try one?
No, well, I've got a bunch of catnip outside. I might crush it up and make me up a drink later. But I think it'd be awesome. What a way to sell something.
Yeah, it's good for you and your pets. Yeah.
They do cat wine, right? So I'm really not quite sure what the difference is.
Cat wine?
Oh, yeah, they sell wine that you can give to your cats if you, having a nice Saturday night in.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that stuff. It was called cat pee or something. You remember that wine?
No.
There was a wine called cat pee or something.
No.
Ridiculous.
I'm sure the sales weren't all that great. So we have a few people watching us. I'm going to give some shout-outs. Maximus Reed, Greg Reed saying hello. And, back to the video, apparently he was a roadie for the band. Way back in the Grand Mares days, hey? I used to roadie for that band, he says. And then David says, Chevalier? He says, your mural in Amherstburg looks awesome so far. So this is kind of a little bit of a segue or kind of a backpedal into your artwork. So what have you, over this period during COVID, have you been working on some pieces at home? Have you been also, I guess a mural's been started.
Together, actually. I'll blend the two together. So Grand Maris kind of switched over to Ashes of Soma. I joined Ashes of Soma about 6 years ago. And what happened over COVID, I actually only painted one painting, which was odd. But then Ashes of Soma started back up, and I just wrote about 5 new tracks over the course of COVID with the band. And in the meanwhile, I was getting a mural together for a new bookstore going into Amherstburg. And I mean, I love painting murals. It's just like a nice big project. You can phase everything out and get on this job. So it's on the corner of Richmond and Ramsey. And I think on August 14th, this bookstore opens. And the owners were just like, you know what? We want something crazy on the side. And it's quite a piece. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of fun, though. It's nice to be able to tap into both those markets of the creative palette, right? I've got music, and then I can go to my art, and then I can go to cooking. So I kind of kept myself well-rounded with the art. Maybe that's what kept me from going berserk during this time, or going a little stir-crazy. But then again, I don't ever get bored, because I don't know what boredom is.
You keep yourself pretty busy that way,
sure,
right?
You too. You too, right? Like, I know you're the same kind of person, man. You're go, go, go. I don't wake up in the morning and go to bed. I wake up and pass out. Like, there's a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the other way around. I pass out, but then I wake up with a lot of energy. So, which is why we do this morning kind of thing, because, I've noticed over my years.
Story?
I've noticed over my years that my creative energy has totally shifted as far as like the way that, my body works and the way that it wants to wake up and the timing of it. And I feel like I'm just kind of go with it. But yeah, I try and stay pretty busy. I can't say that COVID hasn't hit a little bit the creativity end of it. It's been a little bit odd. I'm a photographer. Doing editorial work for the Drive magazine is one thing, but then thinking about the artwork that I've produced for over 20 or 25 years, my general work, trying to think about what it means now to be like a fine art nude photographer or a figure photographer, or what are you saying when you're doing portraits? What does your body of work even say in the climate of what's going on? I think I've taken a step back from kind of creating, and I'm trying to figure out, how to take that deep breath and even move forward. So it's really awesome when I'm talking with other creatives that have kind of kept along, but I'm finding that there are a lot of photographers. Obviously, we had to step back from a lot of the stuff that we did. Can't work with people. If that's what you did, you were out to lunch. So it's been just a bit of a different creative time for me. So I'm probably looking at, other people who have been able to twist it and do some really kind of fun, creative things during this time too, to inspire me. So.
Well, yeah, and that's what's been actually really cool about this whole COVID thing, is it's brought a lot of that out, because in desperate times it really puts a different type of pressure on people. And I've seen a lot of stuff come. Obviously, the two of you have probably seen some amazing things come out of people's imaginations and pop up on their social media. It's incredible what happens when you change the dynamic of what's going on already.
Yeah.
To something new. Like, I don't know what I did different. I think I just kind of stayed along the path I've always been on. It just kind of amplified a few things a little bit more. But I'm like I said, I don't stop. I'm a very busy person. I've got a lot of projects on the go, so that kind of adds to it. So I don't know. Justice, I don't know what did you do to keep yourself occupied?
I got really, really, really into video games. I basically just sort of had my dollhouse, my digital dollhouse. I kept that going, and just recently I bought a subscription to World of Warcraft. So we'll see.
You jumped in. See, I found an old an Xbox, and I played it for 2 nights, and I realized, like, this is crack. I gotta unplug it.
Oh, for sure. It requires a lot of like strength to know when's enough.
No,
not
can't do it.
No,
I would go to bed if I had a video any of those systems. I would wake up with black under my eyes and go to bed with black under my eyes. Anytime I could, just play. So, because I got to beat it. It's just that whole thing, right? Got to beat the video game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I find it a little bit OCD kind of on that end too. I talked to Justice, like, my old video game days were like Legend of Zelda and a Nintendo, right? And I realized, I think in those days, my parents went away one weekend, and my friend Andy Hancock and I ended up playing. I think it was like literally fall asleep, wake up for like 3 days straight to try and beat this video game. My parents came home, my dad's like, "Is this all you did all weekend?" And I think that stuck into my head for my whole life. Is like, that is all that you did was play a video game for 3 days. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. So I think I put my video game, obsession kind of aside then.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
But it's again, what do you get out of it? You get some endorphins, I think, and you feel good. You're like, I beat the game. Okay, that's it. Next game.
Yeah.
So.
Tasks in video games are way more fun. My favorite genre of video games are actually games where you just basically do chores and like maintain like a pleasant environment. And I enjoy that far more than maintaining my house or gardening, for real.
Yeah.
My hands don't get dirty. Nobody talks to me. It's sweet.
Yeah, you keep the video game happy. That's very interesting. You know what I like better though? Let's put it all into perspective. I love pinball machines because they don't care who you are. That ball is going to fall down that hole. You can get multi-balls, and then the world is changing at that point. So if I miss playing pinball machines, I have one, and it's horrible. But,
oh my God! I should.
This brings onto something there.
Yeah, I have a good friend in Niagara Falls who actually reconditions and fixes up pinballs, and his basement is essentially like a pinball haven. He's got, probably about 5 or 6 machines.
Can I meet your friend?
Yeah, we should take a trip up there after.
I'll 12-day quarantine, then go to his house. And
you'll never leave.
Think, if COVID's going to bring anything back, I want roller rinks and pinball arcades. And I think the world that'll fix everything, right?
And drive-in theaters are coming back too, right?
Actually, so right on that note, and kind of like relevant for what we're doing, but the Windsor International Film Fest is talking about, I guess the city has waived their rental fee for the for the waterfront plaza, and WIF is going to start doing, I guess, drive-ins during the Film Fest month. So instead of like streaming them online and stuff, they hope to be at the point where they can kind of do drive-ins, which is pretty freaking rad,
Sweet.
It's popping up everywhere, and it should be, no matter what. I mean, I think people want drive-ins to come back for a long time.
Yeah.
And this is just kind of forcing it to happen, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. We need those kinds of things. You're just driving down the road, you're on your way somewhere to Toronto, you're like, let's just stop and watch a movie. And you go.
I love the idea of being able to go and have like a theater experience without having to like actually look at another human being. It's perfect.
Justice is right on the whole, like, she just wants to hermit sometimes.
Oh, it's fine. You hermit and you can build your communities and your video game lands.
Oh, absolutely. My WoW guild is going to be sweet. Actually, you know what? I will say, online, I have a little, like a community. We call it a cult, and we're actually now at the point where there's enough people in my little online community where we can apply for the tax-free religion status, according to the Canadian government. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I hope you consider it, because that what a thing.
Would be tight as hell, right?
That many people.
Yeah.
The number's not that many. It's like 13.
Well, that's a good number.
Oh, whatever.
All right.
It's a great number.
So, David, what are you looking forward to? You've got the mural in Amherstburg. I assume that's kind of midway. Do you have anything else on your plate that you're looking forward to, in the near future or after we hit phase 3, if ever?
Yeah, 100%. And this is the other project I had going on during COVID, actually in the last 2 years. And we're launching it within the next 2 weeks in the States. So my partner and I have been working on and developing a new brand, and it's alcoholic whipped cream. And this is it right here. So we've been getting this ready for the last 2 years. It's 14% non-dairy.
I wish I could just grab through the screen right now. Like,
you want to try some? Open your mouth.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
The future is coming.
It's been I know that'll be the day. Especially when you can smell things, that'd be the worst. You should have brushed your teeth before the Zoom meeting, David. Come on. Jesus. But yeah, this has been a lot of fun, and this is something that we're legit the only ones in the world with this product right now. So and it's a wine based. Oddly, it's a wine based. You wouldn't think it is. It just tastes like typical alcohol.
I thought it would be like vodka based, honestly. But I guess like vodka and cream doesn't really. No.
It used to be, but the vodka's a little too strong in there. But also, when it's a wine based product, it opens up the market to a lot of direct to consumer sales. So that's why we went that route.
Oh.
And I mean, the product itself, we actually launched it at the AVN Awards in Vegas. So it was me standing there from Harrow amongst 1,500 porn stars, and they're like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "Pussy whipped. That's what I'm doing here." And it was ridiculous, man. But the thing was we decided, you know what, I like to have fun, and guess what this is? This is a lot of fun. You want to see, you put this at a party and just watch what happens.
That's funny. I think Positivity Guy even showed up at the AVNs, didn't he?
Oh my God, yeah.
Man, we should have replayed that, because those little things were funny.
Let's see if we can find it, perhaps to add into the comment section after the show. Which, speaking of which, we're sort of kind of about that time. David, is there anything that you would like to sort of leave the audience with before we say goodbye?
Oh, I feel like I should sing a song, but that would be horrible.
We waited.
I appreciate you guys asking me to be on the show. It's nice. And, advice, what do I leave the audience with? I mean, personally, I've been having a lot, by the way, as far as the therapy side of this, my therapy is obviously being creative, and that's my big outlet. But a lot of people, they don't have that. And one of the biggest things I would say is we've had this big opening of communication, and that's something we can't forget. So making sure to talk to people when you're down, when you're not feeling right, call the right people. Because again, I've had people call me because they're feeling here, and I'll bring them up to here, and the same, it's back and forth. So one of the biggest things is making sure that you're more open. Be open with yourself, and if you're feeling down, get yourself up. And if you're feeling up, spread it, because I think that's a very important thing that we have now. And we can't be around each other as much as we want to be, but we at least have this. So imagine that we didn't have this, how crazy this would be.
Yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Yeah.
Writing letters, I'd be writing Six a letter, like, "Dear Six, it's been many days."
Reaching out and talking with people. And David, when you dropped off the cats, like, I don't know what, we stood socially distanced in the front room and had like a 2-hour chat. So, sometimes it's great to even reach out to people that you're not always having conversations with, because it was really great to hang out and chat with you then, and it's awesome to hang out and chat with you now.
Back to what I was getting. It's been really nice getting a hold of people that I haven't talked to in 10 years, 15 years, and I'm sure everyone's experienced just a little bit of a rekindling of a relationship along the way, and it's been fantastic. So those are other things too. Take advantage of that.
Yeah.
We forget we got so busy before all this hit, and now it's busy again to a degree. But it's like, just embrace that. There's a lot of people we forget about, and I'm definitely guilty of it.
Absolutely.
It's nice
Awesome.
But it's nice to have spent time even with you guys today. I mean, I can go back to bed. I'm excited.
Well, it was a real treat talking to you, David. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to everybody who tuned in today.
Thanks
have a
again.
wonderful rest of your day. And
Thank
we'll see
you.
tomorrow.
All right. Take care.
Awesome.
See you tomorrow.